Hi, this is Jacob Nash with JNGL, and today we will be looking at Unit 1, Lesson 1B. So the last video I made was Lesson 1 or 1A, and that was just the basics and algebra review, but now we are looking at points, lines, and planes. So this is the actual geometry stuff. And I told you that I might not use that software anymore, and I decided that I can use this jam board. And I don't like it too much either, but I guess I'll just have to do this. This is better because I can make like slides instead of erasing everything. Okay, so points, lines, and planes. So that's a point, that's a line, that's a plane. Now this is mostly just simple, but there is some certain things that you have to know. Okay. See. All right, points. So the things that you need to know about points for standard 1.1. You see that? 1.1. Okay. Points have no dimensions. So technically, if something had no dimensions, you couldn't see it. But if we're talking about it, we at least have to draw it. But if you're like looking at the point of the screen that you're watching this on, well, there's no dot labeled, but it is there. And a point is a location in space, and we use a capital letter to name a point. Here's an example. A. Really, you could use any letter, but it just has to be uppercase. So let's just use J for Jacob Nash. That's my name. There you go, J. That's all you need to know about points. Lines. Okay. Lines are any 2 points, and anyways, sorry about that. Any 2 points make up a line. So that's what a line is. Just 2 points, and that makes up a line. But technically, the whole line is infinity points because there's so many there, but you only will label 2. And lines are one-dimensional, and again, if it was one-dimensional, you couldn't see it, but that's just what we have to do if we're going to talk about it. We name a line by using 2 points on the line and an arrow on top. You can also use the script letter. Okay, well, right now we're just going to do an example. All right, we see this right here. This is a line, and the 2 points that you see are X and Y. So you use the 2 lines, or the 2 points, X, Y, and you put an arrow on top. And here's what kind of arrow you put. You mostly just, it's really just a line that you see there. And you put it on top. And with this script letter, there's not one there, but I'll put one there. It's like a fancy kind of like italicized letter that's lowercase. And you can use that. But you have to say line B. There we go, line B. That's what you could call this, either of those. Now, here's where things get hard. If you have a line and you have 3 points on it, you have A, B, and C. Well, if you're asked to name the line, you might try to say this. A, B, C with the line on top of it. But that's not right because you can only put 2 points. That's why I uppercase that, because you can only have 2 points. So if you're taking notes or anything, that's something that I would say. I mean, most of this, a line just looks like that, and a point is just a dot, but you might not know that. So you can only put 2 letters. So if it was like this one, you could say AB, AC, CA, CB, any of those combinations. So there you go. That's what that is. Planes. So not like airplanes or anything else like that. Plane is just a flat surface that is made up of points. Any 3 points make up a line. Okay? Or sorry, plane. We name a plane by 3 or more non-collinear points. And you can also use the uppercase script letter. All right? So how would we name this plane? So non-collinear. Well, something I forgot to say was what those mean back on here. If you noticed that, I forgot about this thing right here. So what are collinear and non-collinear? Well, collinear is when there's 2 points that are on a line that are on the same line. Now, even if you had right here point Z, Y and Z are still collinear because you could just do this, right? You could. And but if you're thinking like, what's an example of non-collinear? Well, that would be if you had something like this. You have 2 lines here, and you have, let's say that's point A, point B, point D, point C. So D, C, A, B. All right, that's messy, but it's not easy to write that with a computer. All right, anyways, A and D are non-collinear. Because these are on separate lines. That's why. Okay, so anyways, 3 non-collinear points. So if you had a point here and a point here and a point here, you could not name the plane by that because those are all collinear. But you can name it plane. You don't have to write plane, but you can just say shape or plane GFH. That's what you could say. But you could also use the uppercase script letter. But when you're using the script letters, the script letter is lowercase for lines and uppercase for planes, but you have to write the word, and then it's that R right there. Do you see that? It's like italicized. It's not a point. There's no dot by it. So plain R. Those are what you could say. Now, what are coplanar and non-coplanar? All right, let me look at the literal definition I have here on these notes. Okay, let me see here. Okay, coplanar are points that line on the same plane. So they are on the same line on the plane. So let me think of an example. If there's a point at all these corners, that would be coplanar. And non-coplanar is points that do not lie on the same plane. And any 3 points that you ever get are going to be coplanar. But if you see a 4th point, then that's when you know that it might not be. But if there's 3, then it's going to be coplanar. But if it's more than 3, then it may not be. All right. So intersections. This is the last really notes thing before we get into the practice. All right. 2 planes intersect at a line. 2 lines intersect at a point. Now, these 2 things right here, they go with opposite things. So that goes with that, that goes with that. So let's just talk about this one first. 2 lines intersect at a point. So you see, these are the script letters, lowercase script letters. Line R and line S, they intersect, which, if you don't know what intersect means, that's just where things connect. Like these 2 arrows I drew, they connect right there. That's the intersection. If you're thinking about like a road, when there's like a stoplight, there's going to be an intersection. 2 lines or roads connect. And so it intersects at line or point P right here, where I made it red. Okay, and then 2 planes intersect at a line. Okay, so this is the uppercase script letters plane M, plane L, they connect at line W. This is line W, they connect at that part. If you can't tell that this is supposed to be drawn 3D, that's just what it is. Alright. Now, if you didn't remember everything I just said before now, you can look back at what I said because now it's practice. Alright, practice. So there are 8 practice questions that I put on here, and I will give you these 2. Alright, I'll read the problem. Another name for line Q, so that's just just script. And this is line Q. So what could be another name for that? And then number 2 is name 4 collinear points. And if you don't remember what that means, look back on the video. Alright, you can pause the video now. Alright, I'll go over it now. Okay, number 1, another name for line Q. So when you're naming a line, you have 2 points, 2 only. So JKL right here, you can't name it JKL, you can only choose 2. I'm going to choose J and L. So JL, you don't have to say line, you could, but then remember, put that thing on there, that line thing on there. That's the answer. That's another way you could name line Q. And notice how this script letter is fancy Q right there. Alright, number 2, name 4 collinear points. So that will be 4 points that are on the same line. Well, there's only 3 lines on both of these, so let's look at this one. We have I, K, and H. You could, you will say it in commas for this one. But when you're saying that, you don't do commas, or that will show that it's different lines. You don't want that. So, but when you're naming a list, you can say that. So, really, the letters are just I-N-K-H. Ink. That's what it spells. But that doesn't matter. Alright, good. Hopefully you got those. If you don't understand it, and you need someone to go in further depth, I would suggest looking at a different video. Alright, here's 4 through 6, or 3 through 6. Okay. I will say them, and then you can pause the video, and then I'll go over them, like last time. Alright, this time it's about planes. So we have these planes right here that make up this cube or prism. Alright, number 3. Are points E and F collinear? Number 4, are points E and C collinear? Number 5, are points A, B, C, D coplanar? Number 6, are points A, B, G, H coplanar? So these are yes or no questions. So if you really just want to guess, then you can pause the video now. But if you know it, still pause the video, and I will go over in a couple seconds. Alright, number 3, are points E and F collinear? Alright, first I'm going to switch the color so that, and actually go highlighter. Alright, let's see, what are E and F? Alright, that's E, that's F. Are they collinear? So, remember that means on the same line. Yes, they are. I mean, that's obvious. Now, I'm actually going to go to number 5 now. I will come back to 4. Alright, are points A, B, C, and D coplanar? That means, are they just like on the same plane? So, let's see. Here we go. A, B, C, D. Are they coplanar? Are they on the same plane? Which, remember what the plane is. You have the shapes. And yes, they are. They all are on the same. 4 and 6 are a little trickier. And from the notes that I took, I actually got both of them wrong. So this is the tricky part about this section, standard 1.1. It's just you have to know these little rules and stuff. So are E and C